Alright, so I'm gonna go and make some pepperoni pizzas here for you. So first I'm gonna go grab some. I'm gonna make sure I set myself for success. I grab some and I kind of organize it as I come around. So I'd like you to look at the three things. It's very simple, the three techniques. One, my thumb, or my hand, my thumb here, hand near the surface, traveling together. Again, that's very simple. So I'm gonna go down. We'll always work the circle and then we come inward. So here it is. Look at my thumb helping it out. All right, simply, we're gonna come down again for the 12-inch. Hand near the surface, my thumb is engaged. We go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This was folded. I'm not gonna fold it up. Always when you grab it, if it's folded, you're gonna put it downward, because otherwise it's gonna get really crispy and it won't be. So you're gonna put it this way, so it just kind of does that. One thing to show you, you always have almost half an inch of a crust. The reason is, if this is like this, it goes in, when it comes out of the oven, it's gonna be this much. And people don't like to just be eating a lot of crust. So you need to be mindful of that. Again, we wanna go as far out as the pepperoni as we can. Let's go to our 16-inch. Hand near the surface, go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think it's, how many?
14. No, 15.
15.
One of the reasons we went to bigger pepperoni is because instead of putting 45 pieces of pepperoni on here, you can put 22, and it's much faster.
One of the things that you need to realize is that in life, in any line of business, and anything, perception is reality. Where I'm going with this is that you're looking at that pizza, there needs to be a balance of white and topping that you have. So it's not all clumped up together or like too far apart, like, you know, like this. You know, that doesn't look good, you know what I'm saying? So not too much, not too little. That is why we have a count.
Show the clump in the middle. Because I've seen them where the edge is out good, but there's a clump. It just shrinks into the middle.
Look at this.
Okay, when you cut this pizza or you look at this pizza, you just look like an amateur.
And
you look
also,
like you don't know what you're doing, and it's just not artistic. It's not pretty. It's not. It doesn't have that, as they say on Instagram, that food porn appeal. Hate to use that word, but it's the common vernacular these days. So it's gotta look amazing. If it doesn't look amazing going into the oven, it ain't gonna look amazing on the other end of the oven.
And what I was going to demonstrate to you is that if you look at this pizza, it's the same amount of topping. So a lot of times it's not as much about the amount of your topping, but rather how you distribute it. This is the same amount, right? If I just simply distribute it better, because you know this pizza is not going to be eaten like this. Customers, we're going to cut it. So you want to make sure there is a little bit of every topping on every single slice. So look, it's the same amount of topping. I didn't change anything. How it looks, this versus, you know, kind of clumping them together. A lot of times it's kind of even a sideways we do. Look at how ugly that pizza is, right? It's the same amount of topping. It's simply distributed a little bit better. One of the things you need to realize that when it comes to our toppings, we have those that are bigger surface, like this guy or this one, our Canadian bacon or our pepperoni. Then you have smaller things like obviously our sausage or beef and other ones. We put things in layers, and always the one that has the biggest surface goes under it. Instead of putting all the ingredients and we cover it with a layer of pepperoni, customer can't see what's in that pizza. They want to visually be able to see. If you put the beef under, they're like, hey, there's not enough beef. It may be the exact quantity, as I'm telling you, is the perception and the visual matters a lot when it comes to pizza.
Studies have shown that we as human beings eat with our eyes and our nose before we ever actually get it to taste buds. And taste buds are connected to your nose and therefore connected to your eyes. So that's why something that looks good and then it has that smell. You know, you come into the pizzeria for the first time, you smell You smell it. You just know. You smell that garlic. You smell the flavor, the love we're cooking into our food. And then when you actually taste it, that is what creates that food experience. It's not just the taste. It has to look good. And it's not just the looks. If the crust doesn't have any salt in it, it's not going to taste good. Period.
I wanted to demonstrate the technique here again because we're obsessed with it because I know it works. Otherwise, we're not. Again, if you have a suggestion technique that works better, we're always open to hearing that. So my hand is engaged, my hand travels together near the surface, not up here, near the surface. Here we go, like this. I'm trying to demonstrate like the deck of cards situation. Did you see? I engaged both my hands. Everybody's allowed to play, okay? It doesn't need to be just this hand. Same as with the Canadian bacon. I'm gonna actually show you something with Canadian bacon. The Canadian bacon, I can do like this.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna be even easier for me to lay, look. So now, will the world come to an end if you don't do this little technique detail with the Canadian bacon? No, it won't. The world will not come to an end, and this is not a race. However, we want to provide you the technique. If you're wondering why you're not the fastest pizza maker in town or whatever, because you're not paying attention to details. The difference between an Olympian that runs or swims and you and I running and swimming is because they pay attention to those details. So it's a matter of you wanting to, what do you want to be? You want to be a mediocre pizza maker or you want to be a master pizza maker? So you got to pay attention to the details. And I think at times maybe you're not understanding our obsession with speed and food going out fast. And what you need to realize is in the restaurant industry, there is a multi-billion-dollar sector that just wins in that area. If you look at McDonald's, which is the most successful restaurant in the world, and no one tops that or gets close to McDonald's, is the speed. Obviously they have a lot of equipment, half the stuff are frozen, but people care about their food, they're hungry, and they want their food now. So that's what matters to our customers, that what matters to us. You gotta have one speed, like in a gear of the car. No matter if there are any cars in the lane, there are no cars in the lane. You got one speed only, buddy, and that is fast. All right, so I'm going to show you, we're gonna make a supreme pizza. First off, we usually do a little bit less thing because again, we wanna make sure the distribution. All the quantities are up here on the poster. This is not a negotiation. We need to follow it. It's not like when you go to McDonald's, they have 2 pieces of pickle on everything, even at Chick-fil-A. It's always 2, it's never 3, it is not 1, it is always 2. 2 pieces of pickle or 2.
Same squirts of mustard and ketchup.
Okay, so this is not a negotiation. It has to be that, exactly that. So you need to follow this. This may change or not. Somebody will let you know if anything changes. It's not going to. But the purpose of this video isn't those details. The purpose of this video is the technique. I'm going to show you how we're going to make a supreme pizza. Now we're going to move into our Italian sausage. Here's how I'm going to do. I'm going to put the toppings in the center.
Did you see how she held her hand? Back up. She grabbed the sausage, turned her wrist over the bucket so that she didn't lose any of the toppings because there's big and small pieces, and then she went over to the pizza.
Okay.
And currently we're not weighing this.
Yeah, but we're going to look how it looks. Okay. I always go in the center, and it would make more sense in a bigger size pizza, but I'm, again, going clockwise. I'll go around. Here's where we're gonna lay our ingredients, in the empty spaces mostly. You wanna make sure, some may go over, but for the most part, all the empty spaces has got to be filled up. So for pepperoni, as you know, we got 2 meats. Pepperoni, Italian sausage, then our 4 vegetables over here. I'm gonna grab onion, tear it, distribute it well. You don't want somebody to put a bunch of onion in their mouth.
But you want some onion on every slice.
Green bell pepper, similar.
Think about it like an experience in your mouth. We talked about the sense of smell, the seeing it, the visual appeal. So if it's evenly distributed, you've got the good visual appeal. Then you've stared at it, you've smelled it, you've got that garlic sense from the mushrooms, and you want to make sure that when you get a bite of that pizza right there, that you get every ingredient that you've been smelling and seeing in every bite.
I'm gonna show you, this is not good. This is not good. You got a clump of mushroom.
What's wrong with it? Let's use our finger here. Clump mushroom here. So this person's going to get a big bite of fungus.
And no mushroom over here.
And then there's nothing over here. So if I'm sharing with Hangam, she's taking this slice, and I'm disappointed over here.
So this isn't about, oh, this is not enough mushroom, I'm going to put more mushroom. No. This is about spending a second more, being diligent, paying attention, and distributing things in a proper manner.
Making it excellent.
Then you're like, you know what, maybe it needs a little bit more. But after you distribute it well, I'm going to demonstrate something. Well, I can't, well. The black olives, I mean, it's basic force. A lot of times it happens with beef. It hits, it goes. So, again, what we talked about is hand near the surface. I'm going to do another one to show you. But hand near the surface, is there two movements.
This is like distributing cheese. It's the same motion.
Like this, you just kind of distribute it. I'm going to make another Supreme to show you.
All right, while Hangam's prepping the next pizza, I want to talk to you about the portions. I mentioned on the sausage, and we just demonstrated, we're not currently weighing those toppings, but you need to understand the visual of those toppings. And on the chart up above, which you can see right there, this chart, we do have the weights in ounces right there to use for the scale. I strongly encourage you, when you're getting your training, to use a bowl and weigh those out. That will give you a great visual perspective on how much of each topping we're actually expecting you to put on a pizza. And then you can see the pictures, you can see what you need to do, what makes a pretty pizza that is consistent. If you put too much toppings and the next guy doesn't put enough toppings, that customer is getting an inconsistent and imperfect pizza. And imperfection is just, it's not as good an experience for a customer if they came 2 weeks ago and they got one thing and now they're getting something else. Do you like that? You want half the amount of cheese at McDonald's that they normally put on because somebody put half the slice? No, it's not cool. It's not cool. So we're all about excellence and diligence here. So let's make sure that our pizzas look supreme.
I'm going to make another Supreme, and I'm going to show you, again, I'll put the sausage in the center. I'm going to put the sausage in the center. I tear these. This is just like bacon. Obviously, it's a pig product, our sausage. If you put a sausage like this over here, it'll come out shrunk like that. Just like bacon. If you fry it or whatever, it goes all the fat. So what we need to do is tear it into pieces. So I work fast. I work from the center. I go around. I'm engaged. My body is tilted. I'm focused. I go around. Again, I'm filling up all the empty spaces in between all the cheese, and that's my sausage. I'm gonna tear it a little bit. I'm gonna go around. My eyes is looking left and right everywhere to make sure I'm distributing them properly. Next, our bell pepper. If you top the pizza in a different order, that you put, let's say, mushroom and then onion and bell pepper and then whatever it is, it will look different. It's just, it will. So you need to make sure both hands are going in two directions. I'm gonna go back and distribute these. Black olives. This is a party size. Look, I'm gonna go around. You think it needs just a little bit more? One of the things you want to realize, all the toppings are not cramped over here. It's distributed everywhere. This pizza doesn't have too much black olives, too little, too much of this, too little of that. In every slice, there's sausage, there's onion, there's mushroom, a little bit of everything everywhere. And that is your goal with every single pizza. Next, I'm going to make it molto meat. It is one of our most popular pizzas. I'm going to demonstrate to you how we're going to make it happen. Again, this, if I were to, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I have a point. This is the wrong way to do this. I'm trying to make a point over here. It seems like there's not enough toppings on this thing. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So I'm going to...
A lot of blank space.
Yes. And that looks like that's not enough.
It's
so
bad for your calendar and it's bad for...
So make a mental picture of how this looks like. And the same amount, I'm simply going to distribute it better. move stuff around a little bit. When you simply distribute it in a way that there is minimal amount of white space. So I'm gonna go with the sausage now. Again, I go in the middle, and then I'm going to fill up all of my empty spaces. This topping is beef. I'm gonna grab it, tight grip. God has given you a hand, you have muscles, tight grip. If not, things are just gonna fall off as I'm going. I got a tight grip. I can even do like this when I'm coming out, but this is small pieces. I can have a tight grip. I'm coming over to the center. I wanted to show you this. This looks like nothing, the hottest thing in town. However, this is 100% ground beef. Usually when you go to a pizzeria, there is a thing called beef topping or chicken topping. This is not a chicken topping. This is chicken breast. And this is 100% ground beef. We buy them in these cylindrical stuff just the way you buy them at Walmart. And we add fresh garlic, salt and pepper, and we roast them we just bake them in our oven. So this is 100% beef. Just kind of laying them around, whether it's chicken or this. This is very expensive. If you don't know, you can ask your folks. They will tell you. They don't usually waste meat just because it's very, very expensive. I'm gonna go with this. I'm going to go over here. I'm doing this kind of movement and I'm releasing gradually. Look. I'm going to go around. So there is a little bit of beef everywhere. It's not like clumped up in one. And every slice you can see there's a little bit of beef. One of the things I wanted you to observe is look at this pizza. There is topping everywhere on every ounce of it. It looks, oh wow, look at the amount of meat on this thing. Just because it is distributed evenly everywhere, there is minimal white space.